Welcome to Daily Editorial Analysis brought to you by Shankar IAS Academy Civilspedia team. Today's date is August 14, 2024 and I am Bharati Ilangovan here to discuss the list of editorials displayed right before you. So today we are going to discuss just two editorials in depth from the mains as well as the prelims perspective. Both these editorials are given in the newspaper Indian Express. So without further delay, let's get into the discussion. So in the first discussion, we are going to discuss about the topic women's safety. It's in the news because recently a tragic rape and a murder of a doctor in Kolkata happened. This highlights the ongoing issues related to the women's safety in India particularly. So what is a sexual harassment first? So this is an unwelcoming behavior which includes unwanted comment, gesture or action that is sexual in nature. So this will make someone feel afraid, embarrassed, uncomfortable or even ashamed at sometimes. The sexual harassment can be in any form. They can be verbal, non-verbal, physical, or at times it can be even online. So now we'll list out some important data that you can quote in your mains when it comes to women's safety. First is the data given by the UN. It says that almost 1 in 3 women have experienced physical or sexual violence at least once in their lifetime. They also say this violence is often done by some current or former intimate partners. Next is the study published by an NGO called RAIN. So this study said that 1 in 9 girls and 1 in 20 boys under the age of 18 experience sexual abuse. So this highlights the fact that safety has to be ensured to everyone irrespective of their gender, whether male, female or any gender. And nextly, the complaint registered by the National Commission for Women under the category rape or attempt to rape during the year 2014 to 19 shows that a maximum number of cases have been registered from the states like Uttar Pradesh, Delhi, Haryana, Rajasthan and Bihar. So these three are some important data that you can quote in the mains exam. Now we'll discuss what is the impact of this sexual violence. They have impact on various aspects such as the psychological, physical, social and the economic. When it comes to psychological, they can cause trauma and PTSD, trust issues, prolonged anxiety and depression. The person who undergo sexual violence might experience difficulty in maintaining a healthy relationship and leading a normal life. When it comes to physical impact, the sexual violence can cause injuries, risk of STDs, the sexually transmitted diseases, unwanted pregnancies and chronic health issues such as the chronic pain, gastrointestinal disorders and the gynecological issues. The society might stigmatize the person who have undergone the sexual violence. This will isolate the survivors from the mainstream of the society. For ensuring the safety of women, there are many provisions in the Indian Constitution. First is the Article 14, which is the equality before law. This article ensures that every person, including the women, is equal before the law and it is entitled to the equal protection of law within the India. Next is the Article 15 Clause 1 and Article 15 Clause 3. The Article 15 Clause 1 prohibits the discrimination on grounds of race, religion, caste, sex and the place of birth. This article highlights the gender-based discrimination has to be prohibited. Next is the 15 Clause 3. This article highlights the provision to make special provisions for women as well as the children. So under this article, the state can make special provisions for women as well as children to ensure them protection and the welfare. Next, the Article 21, which is the protection of life and personal liberty. This has been interpreted by the judiciary to include the right to live with dignity. This includes the protection from the gender-based violence. There is also a provision to make just conditions for work and the maternity relief under the Article 42 of the DPSP. So this article directs the state to make provisions for securing just and humane conditions of work and for the purpose of maternity relief. And lastly, all our Indian citizens have a fundamental duty under the 51A subclause E. Under this article, it is the duty of every citizen of India to renounce derogatory practices that can affect the dignity of women. So on the whole, Article 14, 15 clause 1, 15 clause 3, Article 21, 42 and 51A subclause E are there to ensure the safety of women in the India. When it comes to women's safety, an important landmark case is the Vishaka versus the state of Rajasthan in the year 1997. In this case, it led to the creation of a guideline for a prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. So this guideline became the foundation of Sexual Harassment of Workplace at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act. You can see this case has led to the formation of an act which prohibits sexual harassment at workplace. So this is an important case with respect to women's safety. And next is the Lakshmi versus the Union of India 2014 case. This case led to the stricter regulations regarding the sale of acids to prevent the acid attacks on women. Now we will see what are some important acts with respect to women's safety. The first important act is the National Commission for Women Act. So this commission was formed. The work of this commission is to review the legal and constitutional safeguards for women. It also recommends the remedial legislative measures. It facilitates the redressal of grievances. The next important act is the protection of women from DVA, which is the Domestic Violence in the year 2005. This act provides for the protection of women from domestic violence, including the physical, emotional, sexual and the economic abuse. It also provides shelter and medical assistance to the women. Next important case is the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006. This act prohibits the child marriages and provides for the protection of children involved in the child marriage. And lastly, we are going to discuss about the act mentioned earlier with respect to the Vishaka guidelines. This Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act mandates the prevention of sexual harassment at the workplace. It also provides a mechanism for the redressal of the complaints. These are some important acts with respect to the women's safety. Having discussed about this, let's discuss what are some important technological developments for ensuring the safety of women. First is the Let's Track. This is a first voice integrated vehicle security system. It provides for a real-time tracking, 24-hour history and zone alerts. The next personal safety app is the Be Safe. This creates a social safety network of individuals who get a notification in case of an emergency or in situations where the users feel unsafe. Another technological development is the SafeLet. It is a wearable women's safety device with 2 buttons on the side. These buttons can be used to send a message or contact the guardian member. It also syncs with the user's cell phone to start recording the audio. So in this discussion, we saw what are some important acts ensuring the women's safety, some important landmark cases, as well as the sexual harassment and what is the impact of these harassments. We also saw what are some constitutional provisions which are ensuring the safety of women. On the whole, the safety of a woman is an inevitable part of the building a harmonious society. So we must create proper awareness generation and the training of people. It is also essential to include sexual education from the school level. On this note, we'll have a mains practice question. The question is, sex education is a good step to prevent the violence against the women. Discuss. You can write your answer and post it in the comment. With this, we'll conclude the discussion on this article, and now let's move on to the next one. The next editorial that we are going to discuss is titled as the Post-Mandal Movement. This editorial is given in the newspaper, The Indian Express. So this editorial is regarding the Supreme Court ruling that allowed state to subclassify the SCs as well as the STs for the purpose of reservation. So this ruling has sparked unease among certain people. Actually, the political parties are avoiding the commitments while reservation proponents are criticizing the ruling. The Mandal Commission reports legacy has led to the focus on the reservation. This has overshadowed the anti-caste politics. So on this backdrop, let's first try to understand what is the Mandal Commission. So this commission was constituted in the year 1979 to 1980. They identified the socially as well as economically backward classes. They recommended measures for the empowerment. The key findings of this commission is the 52% of the India population belongs to the other backward classes. They recommended 27% reservation in the government jobs as well as the educational institutions for the OBCs. This commission advocated for the affirmation action to address social as well as economic disparities. This commission also found some important features with respect to the SC as well as the ST reservation. They recommended to retain the existing 22.5% reservation for the SC as well as the ST. They recommended subclassification within the SC and the ST to ensure equitable distribution of the benefits. This commission also suggested a 10% reservation for the economically backward classes among the scheduled caste as well as the scheduled tribes. These are some important key findings of the Mandal Commission. Now we are going to discuss some important landmark cases with respect to the reservation in the SC as well as the ST. First is the famous Indrasani case in the year 1992. In this case, the Supreme Court upheld the reservation under the Article 16 Clause 4. So this article provides for the reservation for SC and ST in the government jobs. Even though they upheld the reservation, they capped the reservation at the 50%, excluding the reservation in promotions. But later, it was allowed under the certain conditions. The next important case is the M. Nagaraj vs. the Union of India 2006 case. This case upheld the constitutional amendments allowing the reservation in the promotion for SC and ST, but it imposed conditions like demonstrating backwardness as well as the inadequate representation. Next is the Chinnaya vs. the State of Andhra Pradesh case. In this case, the court ruled that SCs form a single homogeneous group and no subclassification within the SC for reservation is allowed. Next case is the Jarnail Singh vs. the Lakshmi Narayan Gupta case. In this case, the Supreme Court removed the need to prove backwardness for the SC and ST in promotions as already mentioned in the Nagaraj case. But this case upheld the need for demonstrating inadequacy in representation as well as ensuring the efficiency of administration. A recent case regarding the reservation occurred on the August 1, 2024. So in this case, Supreme Court said the state must identify and exclude the creamy layer. So the creamy layer means who are economically as well as socially advanced individuals within the SC as well as ST from the quota benefits. This is an important case. So that's it about the important cases with respect to the reservation in India. The three main laws protecting the rights of SC and ST in India are: firstly, the Protection of Civil Rights Act 1955. Next, SC and ST Prevention of Atrocities Act 1989. And lastly, the SC and ST Prevention of Atrocities Amendment Act, which was done in the year 2015. Recently, the government has taken many schemes as well as initiatives to promote and uplift the SC and ST people. Now let's discuss one by one. First is the Stand Up India mission. In this mission, a financial support is provided to the SC as well as ST women. Next is the PM Asha scheme. This means PM Annadatta Ay Sanrakshan Abhiyan. This scheme aims to provide financial support to farmers, including from those in the SC/ST communities. This ensures remunerative prices for their crops. Thirdly, we have a skill development program called as the PM Kaushal Vikas Yojana. This provides skill development and training to the SC/ST youths to enhance their employability. Fourthly, we have a scheme to provide electricity to rural areas, including those inhabited by the SC/ST communities. This scheme is called as the Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gram Jyoti Yojana. This is a famous scheme which is known to many. The scheme is PM Jan Dhan Yojana. As we all know, this scheme provides financial inclusion by providing access to banking services for the SC as well as ST communities. Almost 36.86 crore new bank accounts has been created by the mid-2021. Then we have a scheme named Shrestha. This is a scholarship scheme provided for the meritorious SC as well as ST students. This scheme provides free education in residential schools. It also provides monthly stipend, book, uniform allowances, internet access to empower the SC/ST students. With this, we'll conclude the discussion on the reservation. Here we discussed about the reservation policy. What is a Mandal Commission? What are their key findings? And we also discussed landmark cases starting from the Indrasani, Nagaraj, and recently the creamy layer exclusion case at the start of the August month. We also saw how we can improve their condition by implementation of various schemes brought by the government. So with this in mind, let's try to answer a mains question. The question is, despite the constitutional mandate, the socio-economic development of the scheduled tribes and scheduled caste in India has remained incomplete. Critically analyze. For this question, you can write the answer and post it in the comments. We have come to end of discussion of today's video. If you found the video informative, do hit like, give your feedbacks as comment, and do not forget to subscribe. Thank you. Have a nice day.